Hi, this is Roger. Thanks for dropping by. I'll have a chat about the store-bought Phalaenopsis. These are those that were bought at random with no checking in the shop, no seeing if they had good roots or anything. Pretty blooms, must have, and brought them home. And there's a whole series of videos in a playlist, which this will be tagged on the end of. I'll stick the playlist up as a clickable thing at the end of the video. But some strange goings on today. I sat down at the computer this morning and did all my comments like I always do, good boy that I am, and I thought, let's have a look at the questions and answers, because I need to think about doing that today, and then realised it was Friday. Where did Thursday go? I'm a day out, genuinely. It wasn't a mucking about thing. I actually, was starting to look through comments and find my page in my notebook to actually do the questions and answers. And it turns out it's Friday and I missed it. And then I realised I didn't have enough to do it anyway, so it doesn't matter. But it's just being a day out. That also means it's the weekend tomorrow when I didn't expect it to be. Anyway, thoughts. It is said, I have seen it written, I'm no Phalaenopsis expert, remember, these are growing in here quite nicely. That's not really because I'm growing them well, it's because they tend to grow well in places like where they are, in media like what they're in, if you see what I mean. It's not me being clever or anything, they're doing their own thing. But it is said that spikes are triggered by the winter flowering type, by the drop in temperature going into autumn and winter. That ain't going to happen where they're sitting there. This is part of the lounge and kitchen area, the warmest part of the house. This is the bit where I live. So it's obviously the warmest part. And effort is put in the winter to keep it like that, So I'm not going to be able to do that here, but without sort of breaking the rules, because I said, these are not going to see the inside of the grow room. They are going to grow in the home like other people are often restricted, to. So I have got a northeast facing bedroom that obviously doesn't get used. It's Hannah's room when she comes down, which is at the moment never. Hopefully that will change as the year moves on. But anyway, the problem with that room is once the house starts getting cooler and it starts getting to the point where you start thinking I'm going to put a second jumper on, well, at that point I don't put a second jumper on, I put the heating on. The radiator in that bedroom, the temperature regulator valve is broken, it doesn't work. So you can actually turn the radiator off and it still gets hot. It refuses to shut down, basically. So once the heating comes on, that's not a cool room anymore. But at the other end of the radiator is a proper shut-off valve that you use a spanner on. That will stop it getting hot. I will have to test that it does, but I'm sure it does. If the adjustable valve for home use is broken, that's fair enough. But the one that the other end's like a stopcock, it shuts the water off and stops any getting into the radiator. It's how you shut it off if you wanted to take the radiator out of the system. Yeah, because it locks the water in the radiator so you can take it outside and drain it and that sort of thing. So the idea is, come the time, and we're a long way from it yet, these three Phalaenopsis will go up into that northeast facing bedroom where there's no shading in there. There aren't any curtains in that room anyway. Hannah likes it like that. And they'll sit on that windowsill. They will get, when we get sun, early morning sun for no more than an hour. And at that time of year, it will be so weak as to not worry about it. So they'll be in good light. It's a narrow windowsill and they'll be on it. But it is at the time of year when there'll be duller days, non-sunny days, miserable drizzly days. So although it's good light, it's not strong light, but they will cool down. and we'll see if that actually works. Now, when you get into the more complex hybrids, this business of summer flowering and winter flowering often goes out the window anyway, and they flower when they're good and ready. But we'll see how that goes and see if it does trigger. They've all grown additional leaves this year. They've all put out new roots this year. So their vegetative growth has done pretty good. They've taken to their pots, if you know what I mean, and put on new leaves, which means they're now bigger, stronger plants, because there haven't been loads of leaves falling off the bottom, if you know what I mean. A couple of seedling type leaves fell off, but don't worry about those. So that's the plan for those three come that time of year, and we are quite a long way off of that. You know, we'll probably be looking at November, maybe end of October, but around that sort of time. But time creeps by. You know, a whole day can be lost in a week without even noticing. I just couldn't believe that when I realised. Anyway, so that's the sort of thing that can mess you up with important stuff, you know, where you've got like a meeting or something like that and you get the day wrong. Yeah, that's great, isn't it? Mm-hmm. I did it once with the Wessex Orchid Society. Okay, it was the other way round, but I got the day wrong. Their meetings are Saturday afternoon, second Saturday of the month. So it's a regular thing if we ever get back to having meetings. And I like to set off a bit earlier, and there's a little sort of supermarket very close to the place where the meeting is, and I like to stop off in there and get myself a snack lunch, you know, like a pasty or a sandwich or something like that. And then because I've got there early, I can sit in the car at my leisure and, you know, eat my lunch prior to the meeting, because the meeting's in the afternoon. And I got there and I had my lunch, and I thought, there's not a lot of cars in the car park today. Still, I am a bit early. And anyway, I thought, I needed a wee, basically, as one does after a long journey. So I thought, I'll just pop in and do that, and then see who's about. And I looked in the meeting room, and there's loads of ladies sat in there knitting and crocheting. It was Friday, not Saturday. I got the day wrong. And I'd done the journey. I'd already got there. And I thought, well, that was a waste of time, wasn't it? Because I don't know that area well. I didn't know of anything else I could sort of slot in while I was there. So I just came home again after my lunch. So, yeah, getting the day wrong can have consequences. So that's the plan for the Phalaenopsis. I'm not going to take them out and have a close look at them, because we did that not long ago, and they haven't changed much. I mean, a leaf has matured on one of them. There's another leaf starting on another one, but they're just doing Phalaenopsis stuff at the moment, growing new leaves and pushing a root out now and again, plus some root branching going on in the pot. So all three of them have got a root system perfectly capable of keeping them happy, and enough leaves to provide a spike. Because that's the thing, if you've only got 3 leaves on a Phalaenopsis and it's already bloomed at that size, it's unlikely to do it again unless a new leaf grows, preferably 2. So you need the extra vegetative content, volume for the plant to actually produce the new spike. So we'll see how that goes. And of course, it's one of those experiments that you put them in the cooler room, and they get a bit brighter light, because by then the light here is going to start getting pretty low, simply because it'll still be okay in the grow room, but the shade provided by the plants in the grow room is going to start relatively being heavier. Plus this giant fern in here, which is got nowhere else to put that. And I don't want to get rid of it, because it's quite a specimen, that. Anyway, so the brighter light will do them some good. But we'll have to bear in mind that if they spike and produce blooms, we can say, oh right, so putting them in the cooler room induced the spikes and they all bloomed nicely. They might have done it anyway. That's the bit when you do something like that, you can't prove that they wouldn't have bloomed anyway where they were. So you always think it's the move that did the job, when it's not necessarily so. Now, if I had a dozen here and only 6 of them went in the cool room and those 6 bloomed and the 6 here didn't, that's a bit more scientific. But when all 3 of them go up there, which is what's going to happen, it won't be scientific at all. Could be more luck than judgment. So anyway, little plan. And sorry about the lack of Q's and A's, but there wouldn't have been one anyway because I haven't got enough. I've got one at the moment. Oh, actually no, I think there's one in the email as well, so possibly two, but not enough to do a session anyway. So hopefully some more will trickle in by next week. And again, thanks for all those newer people that have subscribed to the channel. It's all helping. That number is slowly but surely creeping towards that 10k mark. All the time. It's, you know, even if it's only a few a day, it means it's getting closer all the time. And at the moment my estimate is that we could reach the 10k somewhere around my birthday, around the end of October. That would be nice. So again, if you're watching and unsubscribed and you think you might come back and watch some more, then please subscribe to the channel. Costs you nothing. Just click the box or whatever, and your life won't change. Worlds won't fall. You know, the sun doesn't stay out 24 hours or anything like that. It's just helps my channel basically without any effort on your part. So it's, if you could, please do so. And I'll see you next time.